and she was thin.
Miserable.
But I want to know really why. I want the details on that one. Things sleep. There's nothing out there. That's like airtight. No one's saying anything.
I know. It's very cryptic. I'm like, what was she so miserable about? But watching the show, I realized that Jay was just so emotionless and just gave nothing. And I think that Kristen kind of wanted maybe it just, I don't know, she wanted to feel wanted. I think that Jay got really bored. And I think he got lazy in the relationship.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch the show.
Yeah, because you'll watch
I
him and she'll be
watched
like,
it.
babe, I want to have like a chicken coop and I want to have goats. And he was like, ew, why would we do that? Like, that sounds horrible. I don't want to do that. Like, he was just anything she suggested. He was very negative about it. And I mean, look at Kristen. She's doing mud masks with our Montana boy in the backyard. I feel like that's the kind of relationship she wants. She wants hands on.
Listen, let's face it, and I'm okay because I mean I'm guilty of this too. Kristen is 37 going on 24. And I am no judgments because I am older than 37 going on 19. So I'm not judging anybody for that. So she just wants to have fun, Kristen.
She does. I think she got married really young, and then it went right into motherhood, and she was like a great mom for that period of time. And now I think she's going back and realizing, huh, I kind of miss, I miss like the dating. And now that Jay's out of my life, I've got some time, and I'm still freaking hot. So like, I'm gonna like, sow my wild oats.
Have you ever met like Kristen or Lauren in real life? Because
Kristen,
she,
Kristen, no.
Lauren, my experiences have not been good, but I have met Kristen multiple times. She is literally beyond enjoyable and lovely and nice. Beyond, like so down to earth, which I don't think I would be. I mean, she's drop dead gorgeous, but not that
No.
they give someone a right not to be nice, but normally it kind of goes hand in hand. She's literally the nicest human being ever. And Lauren Conrad is not so much to me.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from everybody. The same accounts with Lauren and when people, I don't know, I've just heard a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I've met her and I was not pleasantly surprised, like didn't have the best experience. I think Kristen is just a little bit more down to earth and she was definitely painted as the villain. So everybody has this preconceived notion of her, but she is just a down ass bitch like the rest of us. Like, I think Kristen is a good girl.
She's a good girl. Where can everyone find you? We only have 5 weeks left here of this whole
I,
season, but I
we're getting
think
down to the wire.
we
Yeah.
might do like they might have something instead of a reunion. So there might be really 6 or 7 weeks, but we have 5 weeks left, which is crazy.
It's crazy. And before I want to give you my guys my I wanted to ask you, since there's no reunion in your Bravo experience, because I don't know, you're the expert here. Has there ever been where there's no reunion and then they just have like a little get together, or like what do they do instead of a reunion?
Like in the beginning of Housewives, they didn't have
Yeah,
reunions, and some other shows don't really have a formal reunion, but they all go to like
right.
the clubhouse. But the
Okay.
rumors that Andy might go to each person's house, I don't know if that's true, and like kind of wrap up the season with them individually.
Oh,
I mean, I would love that
I
personally.
would love that too. Cause then we don't have everybody else like fighting at each other. And you know how it gets like you can't even hear what anybody's saying. So I would love a little one-on-one sesh.
And like I think they'll do it one by one, and it will be, I think my prediction is that makes sense, and it will be like closure for a while. And I
Mhm.
think Teresa will go last, of course. And it will just be like, thank you for the past like 14 years. And I'm not saying it's the show is not coming back. I'm just saying like I think we're gonna put a pin in it for a minute. And so it just kind of like wraps it up.
Yes.
That would make, I mean, I think they should do that. There's also this rumor that they're gonna have the two teams like Melissa and Marge and Fuda and them watching the finale. That makes no sense to me. Like we all know what Melissa and Margaret are gonna think about the finale. We all know what Teresa and Dola are gonna think. It's like we don't need that. We can predict who's gonna think what, right?
Yeah.
That seems like the worst idea to me. So I don't think that's happening. I would love Angie to go to each house. Let's get him a black car and just drive around New Jersey. Or
Right.
or the opposite. Like he'll be in a studio and everyone comes to him, and you'll be in a dressing room and you won't see anyone else. And Teresa and Margaret could pass each other in the hall as one, they'll be like, oh, bitch.
Right. Right.
If like Andy doesn't have time to go travel in New Jersey.
I was just thinking of his schedule and I'm just like, God, that would be, I guess, like a full like 3-day experience from going back to the all the
Yeah,
women's
right.
houses. So yeah, Andy might not fit into his schedule.
So let's bring it like them into a studio. I would love that.
I know. Well, we'll have to see what plays out. We got 5 weeks left.
Mm-hmm.
I've been loving what I'm seeing so far. I think we're getting into the meat of it, and
It's getting
I
good.
don't like when the women fight. Also, justice for Bill Aydin. The man was just trying to enjoy a damn sandwich, and Danielle's coming in there like, "You're sleeping with the fucking devil," and he's like, "Excuse me," with his little napkin. I felt so bad.
I just felt right. He's like, okay, I'm not going to scream back at a woman. And he's just sitting there, like, probably thinking to himself, what now? Like,
Yeah,
this isn't our first season. Like, what did she do now? What did my wife do? Like, what's going on? Yes.
yeah.
And Bill is just like, oh my God. Oh my God.
He's
This is intense.
he's the silent giant, and he always just sits in the room. He's always very relaxed, always happy. It's just so funny how these women have such flared up emotions, and the men are just chilling. I love how different
Although
it is.
Nate got a little
Nate was
heated. Yeah.
He did,
He's
but
like,
he's a
shame
ride or
on you,
die.
Jennifer. Shame on you, or whatever he said.
I know. I was like, is that for Jennifer pushing Danielle? Because the whole conversation, I will say, Danielle was very um the more loud one, and and Jennifer was definitely more calm. I love Danielle. I really do. I do think she like fights for her people. And look, we'll never know what went down at that fundraiser. So now that
No,
I'm
we
myself,
won't.
I can comment on it. But yeah, it's we'll see what plays out. But either way, I don't like women touching each other. I just unless it's Danielle Staub. That girl could fight all day.
I love my Staub. The heart wants what the heart wants.
The heart wants what the heart
I
wants.
will never say anything bad about Danielle Staub because I think she is just misunderstood and I think she was bullied off the show. Yes, she did use her hands. Look, I'm shocked she wasn't fired at that moment. I mean, she was fired the next season, but I mean,
Right.
she touched Margaret. It's like at that point, I'm shocked. I think today, if that happened, she would never have even been allowed to film again after pulling Margaret's
No,
ponytail. No way.
definitely not. That was before, all the PC stuff. That was before the rules were set in place. But yeah, no, it would not go down today.
And this is the last thing I'll say before we go. I had dinner with Margaret, Joe, Melissa, and Joe Gorga right after that happened in Long Island. So
Oh,
Margaret like came in and she's like, like really came in a terror. Like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And like, I'm like, what the fuck happened? And she's like, we can't really tell you about it, but like basically they said she touched me and that was, and then we all had dinner, like literally right after. I forgot where in Long Island. It was some Mexican
oh
place.
my God.
Isn't that
I'm sure you were
crazy?
dying. Like, what
I was
happened?
like, what? And I think, I can't remember, maybe she said what happened. I mean, like, you could trust me. I'm not going to say anything, but like she either did or didn't, but like it was implied that it was like they were riled the fuck up. And I don't know if she said it, but
Wow.
she's like, it was intense. It was intense. Wait till you see it next season. To These people go through
And you
so
were like
much.
waiting
Right.
for
I
it.
was
Oh my
like,
God.
what the hell? I was like, why are you here? Like,
Right, right.
you just got your
Wow.
ponytail yanked.
Yay.
There's a fun fact for everyone. I don't know if I ever told that before, but that's a fun fact.
That's
Where
amazing.
can everyone find you? People are loving it. They love us together. They think it's
Yes.
they think it's hilarious that I ask you questions and I don't break character and you don't break character and I'm pretending like you actually are Teresa. And a lot of people that are listening and don't watch the little clips that I put on YouTube eventually are like, oh my God, I thought that was Teresa at first. I think by now they know it wasn't, but not everyone.
Yeah, not today. Not by the looks of it. Cause like I need my full makeup glam team that I don't have. But
But you sound like her, and that's what counts.
true, true. So you guys can find me at Andrea Lopez Comedy on Instagram and TikTok. And thank you for booking me on Cameo. And thank you, David, for always giving me a platform. And I will be back next week.
Everyone needs to follow. And some people are actually saying to me, like, oh my God, what's the link? Where do I follow her? So hopefully you're